Hi everyone, here we are to talk about Cosan Limited fourth quarter and 2019 results. A bit of global and local context. The great fear of recession did not materialize despite swine flu, long-lasting US-China trade war and Brexit issues. And in Brazil, things improved gradually throughout the year. Pension reform passed, we are recovering from a 2-year recession and inflation is under control, supporting near zero real interest rates, something we've never experienced before. Let me go through each business results. Raízen Combustíveis Brasil adjusted EBITDA reached 951 million reais in the quarter and 2.9 billion in 2019. Total volume sold came in 5% higher in fourth quarter, highlighting autocycle sales, especially gasoline, offsetting the retraction of previous quarters. Total volume increased 5% yearly as demand for fuels improved, particularly in the second half, reflecting the gradual recovery of the economic activity. And our consistent supply and commercialization strategy yielded robust results. The first full year of Raízen operations in Argentina was quite challenging, with price freezing and elections, but EBITDA reached guidance at $195 million. Fourth quarter adjusted EBITDA totaled $80 million, helped by inventory gain following fuel price unfreezing, partially offsetting losses due to freezing in previous quarter. Raízen Energia delivered lower adjusted EBITDA following commercialization strategy established for the crop year, with an even higher concentration of sales in the last quarter of the crop. Higher sales volume and sugar prices in the quarter were offset by lower sales volume of ethanol. Costs were mostly affected by sugar production mix, more white sugar, and inflation. Raízen Crushing ended December with 60 million tons processed, flattish yearly, but with improvement in agricultural yield. Comgás reached a normalized EBITDA of 507 million reais in the quarter, as lower volume was sold, compensated by margins adjusted by inflation and improved sales mix. Normalized adjusted EBITDA totaled 2.2 billion reais, 16% higher year-on-year, supported by growth in residential and commercial segments following the connection of 103,000 new clients. Most importantly, regulatory tariff review was concluded, reestablishing stability and paving the way for new investments. Movie EBITDA reached 83 million reais this quarter, with improved operational performance across all geographies. 2019 adjusted EBITDA came in at 321 million reais, with 15% higher volume sold. Cosan SA reached pro forma adjusted EBITDA of 1.4 billion reais in the fourth quarter and 5.6 billion in 2019, reflecting growth across all lines of business. Net income in the quarter reached 392 million, adjusted mainly by a non-recurring gain from the formation of Raízen Conveniências JV, and 1.6 billion in 2018, also adjusted, expanding 24%. Free cash flow to equity reached 2.4 billion reais in the fourth quarter and 4.5 billion in 2019, and leverage stood at 2.0 times. Rumo's transported volume increased 7% in 2019, reaching 60.1 billion RTK. Limited expansion in the quarter reflect volatility dynamics throughout the year. Soybean volumes were strong in the first quarter when Rumo had operational restrictions, and exports were weak in the second quarter. Then there were record high corn exports in the second half, exceeding capacity. Market share in Santos increased to 54% in 2019. Rumo EBITDA, excluding Malha Central for proper comparison, reached 913 million reais in fourth quarter and 3.9 billion in 2018, expanding 10% year-on-year. Yearly performance reflects higher volumes and cost efficiency, resulting in higher EBITDA margin as well. Net income, adjusting for Malha Central, would have been 907 million reais in 2019, growing threefold versus previous year. Free cash flow before borrowings and amortizations reached 688 million on higher EBITDA and lower financial expenses, while broad net debt to EBITDA remained stable at 1.8 times. Soybean production is expected to reach another record, growing 5% in 2020. Exports, however, are unlikely to grow accordingly, in fact depending on Chinese imports. In turn, corn production is expected to be slightly smaller yearly with lower exports, but Rumo expects to regain market share affected by operational constraints last year. Adding all the businesses together, we met proposed guidance in 2019, and all operating companies disclosed guidance for 2020, calling for another year of growth across the board. CZZ adjusted EBITDA reached 9 billion reais in 2019, with net income of 1.3 billion, closing the year with net debt to EBITDA of 2.2 times. Regarding capital allocation, we keep on walking the talk and spend 3.5 billion reais buying shares within our portfolio, tendering 1.8 billion reais worth of Comgás shares, as well as $160 million of CZZ shares. CZZ also increased its stakes in our Log 3 and Season 3, buying shares in the market. As announced in January, Marcos Lutz will render CEO position to Luiz Henrique Guimarães, former Raízen CEO, who will also substitute him at Raízen board. Marcos will continue serving as vice chairman of CZZ and our controlled companies boards, as well as leading strategy and people's committees. We take the performance of our shares as an acknowledgement of promises being delivered. Planning for succession and creating opportunities to develop our talents is laying the ground to perpetuate success in the years to come. Hope to see you soon in our Investor Day events, either in São Paulo or New York.